really is, what are the steps that take you from a plan to moving in your home? Now, one thing that you could do is we do have a behind the walls video series that actually follows one of our model homes. It's a 7 or 8 part series, follows our model home built all the way, and that's got a lot of great educational content in it. But we're going to go a little quicker today and talk about what we do. So you've got your lot chosen, we've chosen the house design, we're ready to go. So what's the first step that we take? Well, the first step we take is actually applying for building permits. We apply to the local municipalities who have oversight on the property, and we turn in plans, we turn in the site plan, we turn in engineering information, whatever they may require. It's reviewed, and then once all of that is approved, we're actually ready to start construction. First thing we'll do is we'll go out to the site, we'll maybe remove some trees, maybe have to demo a home, and then we start doing what I call the horizontal construction. This is excavation work, this is foundation work, this is running sewer and water to your home, creating all the connections, and then backfilling the home. So now we're ready for vertical construction. This is where it really starts to get fun and you see the home taking shape. We've got our lumber supplies delivered to the house. The carpenters show up and they start installing the floor joists. They start tipping up the walls, whether it's a single story or 2-story. They start installing the roof rafters and sheeting in the roof. The carpenters will also install the house paper, and we use Tyvek house wrap, and they'll also install the windows at this time. And so basically, once the carpenters finish this first stage of the carpentry work, the house is really taking shape. The next is we start having MEPs, which is a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. The first one on site is the plumber. They'll come in, install the water pipes and the waste pipes in the house because they have direct runs that they need, so they're always the first one on site. Roof was framed, but it wasn't watertight, and so after the plumber comes in, we go ahead and have the roofer come in and install all the roofing. That way we're securing the inside of the house as a dry environment and taking care of it. And speaking of dry environments, we build outside, we're going to get rained on, we're going to get snowed on, sometimes there'll be ice. That's a normal part of the process, and we choose materials that are able to withstand some of the negative weather that may be received during the construction of your home. Once the plumbers are done and the roof is on, then the next contractor in is the HVAC contractor, the mechanical contractor. They'll come in and run the supply ducts and the return ducts for the furnace and air conditioning systems. Once they're done, the electrician comes in. They will run all of the conduit for your outlets, for your wall switches, for your lighting in the home, whether it's ceiling mounted fixtures or recessed cans. They will do that work. So once the MEPs are finished, we actually come back and do flat work. We'll pour the base concrete in the basement floor, we'll pour the garage, maybe there's a front stoop or front porch that needs to be poured. Once that work is done, we actually have the carpenters come back because there's some work that they will need to do after the plumbing, electricians, and mechanical contractors are in, whether they need to build soffits, finish stairs, or those type of things. They come back in, do their work. At that point is when our supervisors do an in-depth review of the construction of the home. They make sure things are installed correctly, in correct locations, structurally. All of that is reviewed by our supervisors. Once our supervisors have signed off on it, they'll actually call the municipality for what we call rough inspections. The local municipalities, they come in and they actually do inspections to make sure things are built to code. The next step is we start closing in the home. Well, what does that mean? Well, the first step at Earhart Construction, what we do is we do what's called our Energy Seal 1. We come in and we do an energy seal throughout the home where we're caulking plates, we're foaming around electrical devices. We're doing anything to prevent air infiltration coming into the home. And so we're sealing all of this. Once that's been done and our supervisors inspect that it was done properly, the next step on the inside is we come in and we do our insulation. And this includes spraying cellulose insulation in the walls. So the insulation is done, our supervisors have inspected that. Then, once they've approved that, then they'll call for a municipal inspection to approve the insulation. Well, on the inside, we're drywalling the house. So we're installing drywall on the walls and the ceilings. On the outside of the house, at the same time this is happening on the inside, we're putting the finished surfaces on the outside, whether it's siding, brick, stone, whatever that surface may be. So this starts to encapsulate everything. And then once this is complete, we're ready to start installing the finished surfaces on the inside of the home. We come in and actually prime the walls and paint the ceilings. We feel that this is the proper way to finish the home because any surface we get put on after that, we're going to be finishing and we want to get our primer on. After that work is done, then we start installing flooring. What kind of flooring? Well, we'll have tile flooring that we install. We'll have wood flooring if it's a sand and finish in place. We have our custom stairs that we'll install. So all that work is done. Next, we have the carpentry trim work. This involves installing the doors, installing the cabinets, and installing any wood trim details, whether it's casing, whether it's stools at windows, whether it may be a paneled area or a wainscoting. All of this work is then done. Then what happens is our painter comes in and they start doing the final finishing. They'll do the final finishes on the woodwork that's been installed in the doors, then they'll paint the walls after that. Once the painter is finished, the next step are the final installations of finished trim work. This will be electrical trims, light fixtures, light switches, outlets, and also plumbing trim, which would be toilets, installing countertops, installing sinks, faucets, those type of things. So while the interior fine finishes are being completed, the exterior home continues to have work being done. This will include rough grading, the driveway will be installed, sidewalks will be installed, walkways, patio area, deck, that type of thing would be installed during that time. At this point, we're ready for the landscaping. First thing that then is installed would be plants. Those are all installed, landscape beds, and then we come back and we either sod or seed your yard depending on what the decision was made for that part of construction. We're ready for our final phase, which is our Earhart review and punch out. And what happens is our supervisors are on the job site and they're reviewing throughout the process. They do their final detailed review and make sure everything's done correctly and to a level that meets our standards. In addition to this, we also have inspections that are called occupancy permits by the local regulatory bodies. They ensure, once again, that we built to the plans that we've turned in, that it meets all the local codes that they administer to make sure that it's ready for occupancy. And we actually get an occupancy permit. Once our supervisors have done their review and everything's ready and we're getting near closing, we'll actually contact you to do a walkthrough. We'll walk through, we'll review the finishes with you, make sure everything's done correctly. In addition, we spend a lot of time educating you on how to run your home. You may have different items in your home than you've had before, and so there's an education process, learning how to maintain those items, learning how to operate those items. All of that will be reviewed with you during this final walkthrough. So once we've had the walkthrough with you, we've finished any punch list items or maybe something needs to be done after closing, there'll be a thorough cleaning of your home and you're ready to move in. And this is one of the greatest days. You've started from initially looking for a lot, thinking about what you're doing. You've had your list of wants and needs for your home. We've designed the home based on those, and now you get to move in and experience what you've planned.